Hey guys, welcome to Mara's Juncture. I am Mara, and today I'm going to be doing my September reading wrap up. I do apologize ahead of time because my energy is like 0% right now, more like 5%. I woke up and I was just in such a great mood. I had plans to do X, Y, and Z, and then, sit down and film this video, but those plans were interrupted, and yeah, so we had to pivot. I do have my latte. Cheers to the coffee lovers, tea lovers. This cup is so big, but it's so cute. It's so hard to hold the handle. So I just have a pumpkin spice latte. So I have decaf coffee because I'm trying to cut back on coffee. So I have a decaf coffee with the Chobani pumpkin spice creamer, topped with the pumpkin cold foam by the pumpkin cold foam, the orange one. Is it International Delight? I don't know, but the pumpkin cold foam, and then I have some pumpkin spice seasoning on top. So good. I needed that. Okay, yeah, so let's get into my wrap up. I believe I read 5 books. Go me. I think last month I read only 4 or 3. Yeah, so I have 5 books and I have 3 of them here, like physically. So the first one we're going to talk about is The Sweetness of Water by Nathan Harris. He does have another book out called Amity, I think, that just released on my birthday, September 2nd. So The Sweetness of Water, we are following pretty much. Okay, so the book opens up with let me see. I don't want to give you guys like. Okay, so I'm just going to read this synopsis to you guys because I didn't read the synopsis. I don't ever read the synopsises. So I don't want to like give you guys a spoiler. So the synopsis says in the waning days of the Civil War in rural Georgia, brothers Prentice and Landry, freed by the Emancipation Proclamation, seek refuge on the homestead of George Walker and his wife Isabel. The Walkers, racked by the loss of their only son to the war, hired the brothers to work on their farm, hoping through an unexpected friendship to stanch their grief, while Prentice and Landry aim to save money for the journey north and a chance to reunite with their mother, who was sold away when they were boys. Parallel to their story runs a forbidden romance between 2 Confederate soldiers recently returned from the war to the town of Old Ox. When the young man's secret is discovered, the resulting chaos, including a murder, unleashes a convulsive repercussions on the entire community, with Isabel emerging in the tumultuous aftermath as an unlikely leader. So, in the beginning of the book, it opens up with George. He's like obsessed with finding this mysterious creature. I thought it was giving like magical realism because I'm like, dude, come on now. So it opens up with George like going out into the woods trying to find this mysterious creature that he's seen when he was younger, and like every day since then, even now into his old adult years, he's still trying to find this creature. And while trying to find this creature, he got like stuck in the woods, and this is where he meets Landry and Prentice, and they help him and they get him back home. And then Isabel, his wife, meets Landry and Prentice because is it Prentice or Landry? I can't remember which brother it was. So one of the brothers are mute because something happened to him on the plantation where he does not speak. So pretty much people think that he's mute, but he would like steal socks off of Isabel George, the Walkers, the wife of the Walkers. And so that's how she meets them. And then they end up, coming together and working for George, but George does live next to the previous slave owner of Landris and Prentice, and so that causes an uproar because the slaves are free now, and George tells Landris and Prentice they end up, forming this brotherhood. Like, you could come work for me because I want to get my land up and running. And George was not previously like a slave owner. He just has all of this land that was inherited by family, but they want to keep the land up and going. So George, tells Prentice and Landry, like, hey, like they just make some type of deal for each other to, excel for, them financially, and then George, could keep his property going. But the previous slave owner of Landris and Prentice gets mad because he is feeling like these slaves still belong to me. I don't care if the law says that they're free. These used to be mine. Them working on your property, like, who do you think you are? Like, what's really, like, ho, is you cool? Like, that's how the previous slave owner was coming at George, like, oh, is you cool? Like, he wanted all the smoke. So we follow like that. And then like the two Confederate soldiers that they're talking about is like a plot twist to what the synopsis said in the beginning about their son. Their son ends up, dying in the war. But then there's a plot twist with these two Confederate soldiers that come back home. And then what they got going on causes like this crazy thing, which is connected to what happened, something that happens to the brothers. Like, it's just, this is not like I was not expecting like all the stuff that was happening here. So it does give historical fiction vibe. It's just like the feeling of a historical fiction, but not so much like if you like to read historical fiction and gain like certain facts from maybe that time period, not so much this. It's just more so like the vibe. Like you're more so like living in the era of that historical time period, but not so much him dropping like historical facts, lessons. I mean, you do get like a little taste of it because like what like the reconstruction of like, after the Civil War and stuff, but like not so much like a historical fiction based off a specific event, if that makes sense. So this book is so messy. Like if you are able to sit through a slow vibe of historical fiction, because historical fiction usually does read slow, then I think you would enjoy it because you get the historical fiction vibe on top of like a lot of drama. Like there's a lot of drama going on in this book. Next, we have Negroland by Margot Jefferson. My dog, you might hear some crazy noises because my dog is just doing too much. So next we have Negroland by Margot Jefferson. So this is pretty much a book about, how do you say it? Bourgeoisie. I think that's how you say it. And I'm so sick of hearing that word, like bourgeoisie. Like this book should have just been called Bourgeoisies because bourgeoisie. I think that's how you say it. That's what it should have been called because that's all I heard throughout the whole book. No shade, but like that word is used over and over and over and over. But so pretty much this is a memoir that is kind of like part memoir, part history lesson of like Black elites here in America. And so, like she's breaking down the timeline from like her childhood to like current day and like the type of like the black elitism, is that even a word, within that time frame. So like the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, 70s, like that. And then like what she had going on in that time frame. But then like black elites in that time frame. And pretty much that's like what it is, like a memoir of like black elites, to what their thought patterns, and then like how they felt about like, like the white people during that time, or what blacks had to face during that time. I feel like it was an interesting perspective because, a lot of blacks, meanwhile, like the blacks that were suffering in the South, there were a lot of blacks in the North who never really experienced that. So it's just like, just goes to show you like where some of the division comes from in our community. And yeah, so it's a great, I mean, if you like memoirs and you want to hear about the black elites, she does mention a lot of the black greats who make up black history, our black history. So it was nice to hear about, some of them. So yeah, I mean, if you enjoy memoirs and you want to read about black professionals, elites, bourgeoisie, 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 bourgeoisie. You know how you say a word too much and then it starts to not make sense? Yeah. Next, we have, I think I'm going to save this one for last because I got some stuff to say. Next, I read, I believe it's called The Body Liberation Project. Okay, so let me get the full title. The Body Liberation Project, How Understanding Racism and Diet Culture Helps Cultivate Joy and Build Collective Freedom, by Chrissy King. And she does also narrate this book herself as well, which, I love a person who's going to narrate their own book. The book, I mean, this is a book that I seen in one of my previous vlogs when I was at Dollar Tree. And I was like, oh, this sounds interesting. Let me just see if I can like reserve it on Libby. And then it just came the month of September. And I low-key wish I would have got the book from Dollar Tree when I seen it, because I feel like it's just like a great reference to have, like to go back to, like just to, more so like for context, I guess. But I feel like, I don't know if her approach was aggressive or how she was narrating her book was aggressive, but like I do get what she was saying. Pretty much, she was just exploring how like white supremacy has shaped pretty much diet culture as it relates to like more so black women. I mean, women as a whole, but as black women, like a lot of the like as it relates to like BMI and stuff, like who that was created by really has nothing to do with like our body makeup, and how society, like white supremacy has shaped how we abuse our bodies and how we approach our diets. So I think it's a good like perspective to go listen to and see like, all the research that she has come up with and produced. And pretty much she just telling you like to let go of certain beliefs so that, you can enjoy your body in peace. And, if you do need to lose weight or if you do need to do certain things, like just don't rely on certain types of diets or certain types of like what is being like displayed in society. Don't let that determine like how you move forward with your body. And so, I mean, I think it's like a good perspective to go. I mean, I do agree with some of the things that she was saying. Pretty much like, one of the biggest things that has to do with that is like what happened to Sarah Bartman or Bateman. I think I'll put a picture on the screen if you don't know who I'm talking about. I think that's like the biggest example of how, the point that she was trying to make with the book. Yeah. So let me see, what else did I read? She was also name dropping a lot in that book, like giving examples of women who, like Kim, was it Kim K? Kim K, I think Chloe. She did drop a couple black people's names, J-Lo, like, so she was, that's where I felt like she was very aggressive, like, and like she was like shooting her shot, like, she wanted all the smoke. Like, she's sick and tired, and you could hear it very much in her book. Like, and with her narrating it herself, like, you can hear the sick and tiredness. Like, how fed up she is. Okay, next I did read A Revolutionary Road by Richard Yates. And I mean, this book pretty much solely is just exploring marriage between a couple who got married very young, moved to the suburbs. You know, both of them had dreams, and pretty much that typical American marriage. Like, that's literally what it's exploring, and like the different layers that, I mean, if you've been married before, then you probably catch my drift. But if you haven't been married before, I mean, it's very hard to explain marriage to people who have not been married before. And some people may feel like, oh, it's not rocket science. But I feel like once you've been married, there's just a certain aspect of like marriage that is really hard to explain to if you've never been married before. And so it does explore like the different layers of marriage, and like, you know, what you can go through in a marriage, certain things that could cause certain layers to come about in your marriage. And yeah, I mean, it's just peeling back. What is the thing of like what they say about onion? Like, I don't know, but it's like literally peeling back the layers of how a marriage can be, especially if you're not working every day to be committed to that marriage, if you're not working on yourselves individually to be able to come together as one to have a successful marriage. Communicate, like how important communication is. Geez, like, it's literally showing you just a challenging marriage. Like, their marriage was so challenging, and that's literally is what it's showing you. And the end of the book broke me. Like, I did not need that ending in this book. And yeah, I thought I would have been triggered by the book as someone who has been married before. But I think I just have like a deeper understanding of what they went through. Like, I can appreciate the story more because I've experienced marriage before, and I see how, and I understand how those things can happen if X, Y, and Z is not taken care of. Okay, next book. I think that's all the books. Okay, so now we can get to the last book, which is The Great Gatsby. This was my first time reading it, by F. Scott Fitzgerald. So in this one, we have a foreword by Jesmyn Ward. She did a great job with her foreword. And then we have an introduction. Wait, did she do the foreword or the introduction? Let me see. Okay, so Jesmyn Ward did the introduction, and then F. Scott Fitzgerald's granddaughter or great granddaughter. Okay, so his granddaughter did the forward, and she kind of low-key demolished this dude. Like, after reading his granddaughter's forward, I low-key didn't want to read the book because she was just talking about how he was a challenging man to deal with. Like, I guess her mom said he wasn't really a good father. He struggled with alcoholism, and I personally felt like, I mean, they didn't really have to say all that, but I guess, and like, her mom didn't really introduce her to like who her grandfather was. So it's pretty much like he was a non-factor until he wasn't. And so it's like they really don't have anything nice to say about him. And so I felt like the forward almost like turned me away from the book. But yeah, so I never really wanted to read The Great Gatsby because, like watching the movie. I don't think I finished the whole movie, but like that era of like the Gatsby vibe, like the what is it? Like the way they dress and stuff, is that called a Gatsby? Like that's not my thing. So I just and I never really like finished the movie because I just didn't understand, like, not that I didn't understand the movie, but I just was like, this is not really my vibe, like it's not my vibe. So I never really finished the movie, so I just was like, but then that one book, The Great Man, that is like a reimagining of The Great Gatsby that just came out. Yeah, it's called The Great Man, but I can't see who the author is from here. That's like a reimagining of like The Great Gatsby, but in like a black version. And so I wanted to read this so that I could have content. Like, that's just how my brain works. So all I got to say is I'm pretty much everybody has read this book, and Daisy is trash. Like Daisy and Tom deserve to be together because first of all, Tom had the audacity to be like the scene. Okay, so let me say the first time when Gatsby came out and was like, I bought this house next door to you purposely. Like I set everything up like this for what time is it? For Daisy. He almost lost me. Cause dude, you ain't talked to this girl in almost 5 years. Like no communication, nothing. She has a baby, she's married. Like, what makes you think that she would just up and leave her marriage for you? Like, logically, we know that, like, if the chemistry is still there with somebody, if you ever had, like, that kind of, like, twin flame vibe with somebody, like, y'all know, like, y'all just be like this. And, like, every time y'all link back up, it's like this. And but realistically, like, there's like a possibility that that person probably has like moved on. Like, of course, the chemistry might be there, but you just don't know. So I'm like, Gatsby, come on. Like, you don't know if you're going to get this girl back. You got this big mansion. Like, you did all this to try to like get Daisy back. So he almost lost me right there. And then the next scene, another scene where it was him, it was Jay Gatsby, Tom, Daisy's husband, literally fighting in front of Daisy, like professing their love for her, like going back and forth. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, y'all got to be kidding me. Yeah, y'all really sitting here fighting over this woman right in front of her. Like, and she's trash. Like, Daisy is so trash. Like, but then it's like, Tom, you really got the audacity. Like, I know this is your wife, but you don't even respect and love your wife, which is probably like Jake Gatsby was like, Daisy, you need to leave this man. He don't even like you. But anyways, Tom had the audacity to just be sitting there, even going back and forth with Gatsby when whole time you got a whole mistress that one, Daisy knows about, two, you'd be more excited to see your mistress than your wife. And you got the audacity to be sitting here jealous because this man is trying to come get your lady. Like, come on now. Like, let him have her. Like, you ain't want her. You got a whole mistress. Like, what you need your wife for? They almost lost me there too. Both of them. Mainly Gatsby, because this is like this couple is a clown. Like, you fighting over date. Like, baby, you got better things to do than to fight over this married woman with a child who is allowing her husband to cheat on her and she don't know if she want to leave. Anyways, so, and then the whole situation that just was like the catalyst for, what happened to Gatsby at the end of the book. Like, that was just a bad situation. That was literally just a bad situation. And I just blame Daisy. Like, it's just, I mean, you gotta blame Gatsby too, because, I mean, you shouldn't be that head over here. Like, you see she married or whatever, but I mean, it happens every day. But, I mean, he could have just went about it in a different way. But I just felt like Daisy was just messy. Like, Daisy was just so messy because I just feel like she could have just handled that situation so much better. Like, and then why are you even second guessing staying with your husband? Like, he don't even like you. And then, like, if you and Gatsby are still locked in, like, if y'all's chemistry is like that, you still love this man, then you could have just took the necessary steps to try to, like, do what you had to do to get away from your crazy husband. Whatever. But that is all the books that I've read the month of September. So I do thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.